So, here we are. The road's nearly at its end. It's been 21 years since the last Legacy of Kain game to reach full release, and now we're just a few short hours away from the release of Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered. It's been a wild ride, but I'd just like to say thank you for everything. Collectively, we've given this franchise new life once more. So on behalf of Raina and myself, thank you to the entire fandom. And yes, for those who've covered this but aren't particularly paying attention, I am not Raina Audrin. I am Basilim, and this is Nosgoth News. So with the jokes out of the way, let's continue with the news. Obviously, this will be the last pre-launch update. So what have we learnt in the last few weeks? Well, quite a lot actually. The newest news to discuss is the Noclip documentary, which was released a short time ago. That's been teased for a few months, and as promised, it gave us a deep look at the development of the series, mainly focused around Soul Reaver 1 and 2. There's a lot to discuss there and a lot to devour. There are some familiar faces, some new info, and there is some brief glimpses of that holy Legacy of Kain archive that might be making its way out to the fandom at some point soon. If you're paying close attention, you may be able to make out some of the details that are in the video. But they do give us a taster of some of the other content in there, with the revelation of some long-lost LK audition tapes, including some of the best-known voice actors in the business, and pretty much the entire voice cast of Metal Gear Solid. We'll be waiting for that archive to drop with bated breath to pick it apart, and we'll post a link to that video in the description. I urge you to give it a watch. Just to give us a bit of a breather before we get back to the remaster news, let's cover the spin-offs and side projects. Prequel graphic novel The Dead Shall Rise has begun collecting the names of backers to go into the backer credits on the remaster. Now, just to highlight that the names there won't be in the game from day one, but they will be added in a later patch. So if you've backed The Dead Shall Rise, they will be in touch shortly to collect your details for those credits, and you will eventually be able to view them through the bonus materials menu in the game. In the same post, they gave us an update on the productions of merchandise, revealing that it's all kicked off now and the production is underway. So there are now rows and rows of Legacy of Kain masks rolling off the production line to look forward to. In other spin-off news, there were more Legacy of Kain project announcements announced as coming for Backerkit in the new year. So if you liked the previous Dead Shall Rise Kickstarter, you'll be able to pledge to support more LK content in future. These are coming from Crystal Dynamics, Lost in Cult and Cook and Becker. Look them up, they've done some nice collection pieces in the past. First, we have the Legacy of Kain, the Book of Nosgoth, which is an official encyclopedia of the series, detailing the lore and history of the franchise and featuring new artwork. An official encyclopedia is something that's been requested by the fans a lot previously, and you'd better believe when I hear of a new encyclopedia, I'm very interested. The second project we have is one for the D&D players out there. It's called Legacy of Kain, the Scourge of the Seraphan. It's a tabletop role-playing game centered around the Seraphan Order and their tireless fight against the vampires. No word on exactly what version of the Seraphan will be taking control of, but a D&D tabletop game is another popular fan request that will soon, or may soon, be coming into fruition. Both of those will have their backer kits opening up for pledges around February next year. In other news, the judgments have been made in the official Legacy of Kain art competition. Once again, I just have to say how amazing all the artwork that was submitted was, and how difficult it's been to choose between them. I'll put out some examples of the winners, but once again, I just have to say that there is some outstanding talent in the community. Thanks to everyone that entered. And if you've placed, you should be contacted by representatives on behalf of Crystal Dynamics to discuss your winnings soon. So, swinging back to the remaster, and it's only a few hours to go until release, and excitement is building to a fever pitch, with news coming thick and fast over the last couple of weeks. The revelation that Raina was the head of development was followed up by an interview with Slovak website Sector.sk in her native Slovak language. So, dobrý deň Slovensko. These days, of course, you can use translation app to get the gist of what was said. Some important takeaways are that there will be camera control on the right stick, the ability to skip cutscenes, subtitles. The bonus materials have been completely updated and reworked. The dynamic music will be preserved, and the big one that set off the fandom was that the lost levels will indeed be a playable museum piece. Raina followed this up with a pair of short videos from the remaster showing off some small details. The first demonstrated the game taking advantage of the PS5 dualsense controllers to change colours with the Reaver blade. A cool little feature that will work on the old DualShock 4s on the PlayStation 4. The second video was a brief presentation of the Hearts puzzle from Soul Reaver 2's Airforge, showing some graphical enhancements like the updated textures on the hearts. More articles followed in the week, with both the official PlayStation blog and Xbox Wire taking turns to expose major details and artwork. PlayStation showed us a gorgeous new promotional render. They delved into some of the maps, showed us some of the new concept arts from the bonus materials, explored the lore reader, revealed the updates to the classic Dark Chronicles scripts, and the options to play through soundtracks in the menu. But that's not all. They also revealed the collaboration with key members of the fandom, specifically mentioning Ben Lincoln of the Lost Worlds and his efforts to bring the lost levels to life, and going through how we will be able to explore the forges, the Undercity, the Smokestack and the Retreat as distinct museum piece levels. That is, obviously, a dream come true for many. Not to be outdone, Xbox followed up with its own new info, confirming that for the first time, the legendary Soul Reaver 1 intro FMV, which is considered by many to be one of the finest in gaming history, was not, and I repeat not, going to be simply upscaled. Instead, crucial parts have been found from the archive and painstakingly reconstructed and remade to re-render the entire intro in modern graphical definitions. It also details the process of texture archaeology and how this version will comfortably excel and beat any previous remaster works. These articles also came along with the official launch trailer of the game. Once again we have a pre-rendered cutscene, this time focusing on a meeting between Raziel and Mobius at the time streaming chambers of Soul Reaver 2. There is some previously seen footage including shots of Duma, Rahab, Malkaya, Zephon, Kain, the Sunlight Forge, Raziel TKing a Turalim in the lighthouse, and phasing at the Dark Forge, and swimming by the Elder God. Some with slightly more footage compared to previous trailers, but there are also quite a few new sequences in there, including glimpses of Janos Audrin, his retreat, the pillars in various ages, fire demons, gas demons, lightning demons, shades, Kain shattering the Reaver on Raziel, the industrial mechanisms of Soul Reaver. The trailer finishes with shots of the time streaming device used in Soul Reaver 2 and a bookend of the pre-rendered cutscene from the beginning with the Elder God appearing behind Mobius. Also this week we got a look into the trophies and achievements for the game as the lists came online. Well worth a look there. See how many references and in-jokes you can spot. I hope Legacy of Kain music master Kurt Harland in particular has a good time with these. Finally, if that wasn't enough to whet the appetite, IGN went through and dropped a whole 12 minutes of gameplay footage from the remaster, mostly consisting of Zephon's boss battle from Soul Reaver and the Dark Forge from Soul Reaver 2. This highlighted just how faithful the graphics and colour scheme actually were in the gameplay, allaying a concern that some had from previous stills, and showed off some of the neater features like the claw-shaped action indicators and the glow of the Reaver. With only a short time left to go until release, the excitement is palpable, and you can already pre-download now. The time to bring the franchise into the future is now. I've been Basil Im, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Vae Victus. Okay, so final word, bit of a late edition here. The review embargoes have just come down, and the news is good. So that means that crisp, brand new, re-rendered FMV intro to Soul Reaver 1 is out there now. You can see it. Try not to cry too much. I had a tear in my eye myself. That is out there. Go and find it. There's more. The Sanctus Christus trailer. Do you remember the original Sanctus Christus trailer? You remember we've done it a few times before? Well, we've done it again for the remaster. That is out there. Look for the brand new Sanctus Christus trailer. We've just put that out there now as well. And of course, with the embargoes all down, there is all sorts of stuff going out on the internet. If you don't want to be spoiled, it may be time to get off the internet now. But if you want to see what's out there, there are some quite fantastic shots going up. Some amazing things to see. And the reviews are good. So, for the last time, Legacy of Kain is back, baby.